Hello, my name is Tare Scott. I'm the Life and Legacy Coach, and I'm working on my latest book. And here's just a little bit of a script I'm going to go off here, but it's called The Chicken That Soared. And I actually have a copy of what the cover is going to look like, and you can see he's snoring here and soaring there. And so anyway, The Chicken That Soared, today's fable for finding your true destiny. So do you believe in fables that can come true? And do you believe in destiny? And more importantly, are you living yours? Welcome. My name is Tare Scott. I'm the Life and Legacy Coach. And Tare, that's short for terrific, or just Tare. It's kind of short for Terry, but I go by Tare. Anyway, I'm the Life and Legacy Coach, and I help people to live a life and leave a legacy. And the way that we do that is I help people to recognize what their destiny is and to live that destiny. So I'm going to share three lessons. There's many lessons in this book, The Chicken That Soared, but I'm going to share three lessons that Chicken 5, who was first Chick 5, and then Chicken 5, and then Eagle 1, the lessons that he learned as he progressed through that time. And today's fable for finding your true destiny is all about us making history right today, because this book is not yet being published. It will be published soon, but you're getting this author's thoughts and my visit with you today before it's even published. So that's pretty cool. So first, a little bit about the adventure. Now, his egg was different than the eggs of his chicken brothers, and it was larger, of course. And the interesting thing about this egg, and I don't want to let everything out of the bag here because you do want to get the book, but his egg actually snored, which is pretty funny. And then his egg was different, his family was different, because when he was hatched, he was bigger, his neck was bigger, and he was more gray. He had some spots and things, but he was more of a gray kind of a looking chicken and bigger than them, and they were little yellow fluffy little chickens, little chicks. And so right away there was difference there, and his world and his work was different. They would peck on the dirt, but he didn't really like doing that, but it was what his chicken brothers were doing, so he thought he was supposed to be doing that. And he also had failures. He had a big crash, and that was different too, because he acted and he took a chance. You see, his chicken brothers was the same thing every day was the same thing, going out from the chicken coop and pecking on the ground and getting their food. But for him, he knew that there was something different. And as a little chick, he saw up in the sky an eagle. And all of a sudden, he knew that that was his destiny. He was supposed to be an eagle. But his chicken brothers said, "You're not an eagle. You're a chicken like us. You don't look like us, but you are a chicken." So anyway, that's how that all went. And he almost gave up. But then the teacher appeared. And you probably have heard this little sentence, is that when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. Well, the student or the teacher was actually a barnyard animal, which is really a fun thing. And actually the entire barn bunch, they saw him fail when he did his first launch and he tried to fly and show everybody that he was going to be an eagle and that he was an eagle. But he didn't do too well because he did have a pretty big crash. And of course, everybody then just made more fun of him. So anyway, he was about to give up, and then the teacher appeared. And what an interesting teacher this person was. So right then he almost gave up. The teacher appeared and he trained, and he not only became better physically, but he changed his mindset. which is really very important. And then the other thing is, before he succeeded in a big way, he he learned all kinds of little techniques and things, and I share that in the book too. So as you're reading the book, hopefully you'll think of ways that you probably were working towards some goals and you didn't quite make them because you thought that people were against you. Well, let's talk about those lessons. First of all, recognize your difference. Now, your difference is your fortune. Bob Proctor, one of my mentors, told me that our income is based on the need for what we do, how well we do it, and how easy it is to replace us. So we need to work on our strengths and not our weaknesses. That's something that Dean Graziosi told me. And that's a really important thing too. So really embrace your difference. When we go to a store to purchase something, it's because that store is different or that item is different. It's not the same old thing. And when people succeed at a business, it's typically because there's something a little different about them. And it's not just the fact that there's something different about them, it's that they are using that difference to move ahead and go forward. Now, every one of us are different. We have a different DNA, we have different fingerprints, thumbprints, and that sort of thing. And we're different. It's already built in. We don't have to try to be different. It's built in. But when we recognize our difference and we move forward through our destiny, on our destiny path with that difference, everything seems to work in our favor because that's how it works when you're on your destiny path. Now, number two, it's not the intention of others to mock you and to block you with your goals. What they're doing is they're simply defending their own position in life, and they're trying to justify why they are where they are. And you think that it's about you, but it really, all of that is about them. So they're directing their mockery at you, but it's not for you. You understand who you are, you understand your life destiny and how you're moving forward for that. And because I'll prove something to you. How many times have you been maybe working on a goal or something, and well-intentioned people told you to give up, or it's too big, we don't want you to get hurt, we don't want you to feel bad if it doesn't happen, and that sort of thing. And then you do what it takes to make it happen, and it happens, and guess what? They say, I knew it all the time. I knew you were a winner. I knew you were able to do this. I knew you were going to be able to succeed. And so the thing is that you're thinking, what do you mean? You were giving me such a hard time while I was struggling and trying to make this thing work. But in their mind, they weren't. They were just trying to protect you. And you thought, well, they were mocking you when they were having these little jokes and things like that. But no, they weren't. And probably on the inside of their mind, they were thinking, you know what, that's pretty cool, but I'm insecure. I can't tell you how cool you are for going forward and doing something with your life, because then it would make them look bad or whatever. They're not built that way. So one thing that I always talk about is this, and you might want to write it down. Do not hate others for what they do not know, but love others for what you do know. So his brothers, they were family. They loved him like family, yet they would mock him and kid him and jab him a little bit and things. And he had to learn to let that go. And then later on, they're like, hey, we knew it all the time. We knew you were going to succeed. We knew you were an eagle and all of this. But that's because they were living their life, and they probably were on the inside encouraging him, but they weren't telling him. So anyway, regardless of if it looks like people aren't on your side or they are on your side, it's entirely up to you to move forward. And then number three, and that's on my next page here. You want to honor others at all times. You want to honor others, honor everything, honor every event, honor every situation before you succeed, when you succeed, and while you're succeeding. Now, of course, success, you've heard it to be, success is, well, it's a journey. And I was thinking of some other definitions too, but success is a journey. But guess what? Your destiny is a destination. But while you're at this destination, it's like a big playground. And so you're able to play around in that playground, and you're actually having some little successes in that playground area. And to get to that playground, you're having little failures and little successes, and failure isn't failing unless you fail to get up again. So there are little lessons that you learn as you're progressing. And then you get to your playground, your destination, and you still have some of these things that happen in your life, but they're just a lot easier for you. But you want to honor everything because, for instance, if you're driving an old car right now, you still want to keep it clean. You still want to keep it maintained. You still want to honor that. When you get into that vehicle, say, thank you, God, thank you, universe, for this vehicle. It gets me to my job, it gets me to my place of work, one of my sources of income, and that sort of thing. But you honor that. And what happens is, the way you get out of a situation and move ahead is that you become bigger than that situation. So you don't actually get a new car. What happens is you become worthy of a bigger car or a better car or something. You don't actually work on necessarily getting a different house. What you want to do is take care of the house that you have and honor that house and then become bigger. And as you become bigger, that house will become smaller. And a newer house will come to fill that vacuum as to what your requirements are. Now, another thing too, and I'm getting off the track a little bit here, but I'm talking to you as like one of my students and clients. We really don't need anything. We really don't want anything. We have no needs, we have no wants. And I can explain that some other time, but what you don't want to think that you need this house, but you become bigger than this house. Now, the other thing is honor other people, because people, things, and events, everything is working for the good for you to move forward with your goal, to get to your destiny. And you may not see it at the time, and you may never see it. There are things that are happening behind veils and behind mountains and obstacles, and depending on how you get around or under or over that obstacle, you may never see these people that were helping you or these events that were occurring over here that were part of the puzzle that made it all work. So just honor everything. Be grateful for everything. Appreciate everything. And when you're grateful, you'll have more of what you're grateful for. So in conclusion, I offer this caution. You don't want to be different for the sake of being different. If you do that, you're not even fooling yourself. You're not fooling anybody. You're not genuine. Just go ahead and find out what your differences are, what your strengths are, and everything's built in. You were born with them. You just need to find them. And when you find them, your differences, work on them. Work on your differences, amplify those differences, become different, and that is your fortune. So don't be different for difference sake. Use your differences that were given to you. Your thumbprint, your fingerprints, they're different. You didn't have to make them different. They're already different. So now embrace that difference. So again, number one, embrace your difference. Number two, love others. Realize that even though they're probably mocking you and making fun of you and that sort of thing, that truly that's not their intent. That's just their intent is not to hurt you. Their intent is just to make them feel a little bit better as to where they're at. So love them for where they're at. Honor everything. As the last one is honor everything. People, events, circumstances, situations, honor everything. So I look forward to helping you maybe someday as you'll be one of my clients, or you'll purchase the book and maybe I'll sign it sometime if I see you in one of my live workshops or presentations. So now you know about the chicken that soared, and you'll go from snoring to soaring. Make it a great day.